All right, get ready because today we are going to be diving deep into the fascinating world of AI interoperability.
Yeah, this is one of those concepts that really gets you thinking about the future.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you hear AI interoperability, what comes to mind for you?
I mean, for me, it's like, you've got all these incredible AI tools out there, right? But they're all kind of doing their own thing.
And working in isolation, like in their own little silos.
Exactly. So the big question is, how do we get all of these amazing AI tools to work together like a well-oiled machine?
Like a dream team.
Mm.
So that's exactly what we're going to be exploring in this deep dive.
Yep. And the inspiration for our deep dive comes from a really thought-provoking article.
Yeah, this article really maps out how to build this interconnected AI ecosystem,
Yeah, this idea of different AI systems being able to talk to each other and work together.
And not just like AI systems created by the same company or anything like that.
Exactly. That's the key here. We're talking about AI systems, regardless of where they came from, being able to seamlessly share data and insights.
Right. Like imagine if your healthcare AI could talk to your financial AI, or your education AI could talk to your smart home AI.
And it's funny because this whole concept of interoperability isn't actually new.
What do you mean?
Well, think about the physical world for a second.
Okay, I'm following you.
Like, remember how standardized shipping containers totally revolutionized global trade? We take it for granted now, but it was a big deal.
Yeah, that's true. I never really thought about it like that.
Yeah, and so AI interoperability is kind of like that, but for the digital world,
Like finding a universal language for all these different AI systems.
Precisely. It's about creating that same level of seamlessness and efficiency in the digital realm, but for AI.
Okay, so if AI interoperability is the key, how do we actually define the lock? What exactly does it mean in the context of AI?
So at its core, AI interoperability is about these different AI systems, no matter where they came from or what they were built to do, being able to communicate and work together like a team.
So, like, what would that even look like in practice? Could you give me an example?
Sure. Imagine a world where your healthcare AI can chat with your financial AI, giving both a complete picture of your well-being for, say, personalized recommendations.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, my healthcare AI knows I'm trying to eat healthier, so it tells my financial AI to suggest budgeting tools or maybe even recipes.
Exactly. Or let's say you're applying for a loan, and your financial AI can securely share your financial health data with the bank's AI.
Wow, that would streamline things so much.
Right. But now, you brought up a really important point.
What's that?
This level of integration means we need to rethink how we're building AI systems.
Yeah, just thinking, wouldn't that require a massive overhaul of current AI systems?
Well, yeah, you're going to need to change some things for sure. The article we're looking at today actually highlights a few core principles for making this interoperable future happen.
Blow it on me. What's principle number one?
Common standards. Like, think of it as a universal adapter for your AI tools.
Okay, so instead of every AI developer doing their own thing, we're talking about a lingua franca for AI.
You got it. And this isn't just about data formats. It's about how AI systems interact, how they share information, the whole 9 yards.
That's a really interesting idea, getting all these different AI systems speaking the same language.
Yeah, and it's critical for making this whole interoperability thing work.
I can definitely see that, but hold on. Even with this common language, wouldn't there be a risk of stifling creativity?
What do you mean?
Well, like, if we're pushing for everyone to conform to the same standards, wouldn't that create a monolithic AI system?
I see your concern, yeah. But the cool thing is interoperability doesn't mean sacrificing innovation. Well, that's where another core principle comes into play, modular design.
Okay, tell me more about that.
So imagine building with Lego blocks. You've got all these different pieces, right? But you can put them together in endless combinations.
Okay, I get the analogy. So we're talking about building AI systems that are flexible and adaptable, not rigid and monolithic.
Bingo. Modularity means you can swap out components, upgrade things, even repurpose an AI for something totally different.
Like, say, taking the learning module from an educational AI and plugging it into a customer service AI to help it adapt to new situations.
Now you're getting it. That's the beauty of modular design. It keeps things flexible, which allows for more innovation down the line.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But we've been talking about these different modules and components. What about the data itself? Like, how do we ensure that data can actually move freely between these different AI modules?
You see, you're thinking like a true interoperability architect now.
Well, I'm trying.
No, that's a great question. And that's where data portability comes in. It's all about making sure that data isn't trapped in one specific system. It should be able to flow freely and securely between different AI applications.
Hmm. Data portability. So if I'm understanding this correctly, it's kind of like, being able to easily move your playlist between Spotify and Apple Music without any hassle.
That's a perfect analogy. It's about making sure your data isn't held hostage by any one platform or application. It's about freedom of movement for your data.
Freedom of movement for data. I like that.
Hmm?
Okay, so we've got these different AI modules, and the data is flowing freely between them. What else do we need to consider?
Well, all this data sharing, we can't forget about the most important thing.
What's that?
Security. You absolutely hit the nail on the head. With all this data moving around, we have to make sure it's protected every step of the way.
Right, because if we're going to have AI systems sharing sensitive information, we need to make sure it doesn't fall into the wrong hands.
Exactly. Think of it like this. If data portability is like having a moving company transport your valuable possessions, then secure integration is like making sure that moving company is trustworthy and reliable.
And has top-notch security systems in place. I wouldn't want my data getting lost or stolen in transit.
You got it. Secure integration is about protecting data integrity, ensuring privacy, and maintaining that seamless flow of information between systems.
Okay, so we've laid out the what of AI interoperability, the principles, the ideas, but how do we go from these high-level concepts to actually making it happen? What are the practical steps involved in building this interoperable AI world?
All right, well, the article goes into some really interesting strategies for actually making this interoperable AI revolution happen. And, one of the biggest ones is open APIs.
Hey, open APIs, yeah, I hear that term a lot, but to be honest, I'm still not entirely sure what they are. Can you break it down for me?
Of course. Think of an API as a waiter at a restaurant.
A waiter. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
So you, the customer, you're making a request, like ordering a dish. That's like a data request. And the kitchen, that's like the AI system, which has the information you need. Now, the waiter, the API, is what connects your request to the kitchen and brings back the information, the food you asked for.
Oh, okay, I think I'm getting it. So APIs are like these digital messengers that help different AI systems talk to each other and exchange information.
You got it. They create a common communication channel so that different AI systems can understand each other regardless of how they were built.
That's super clever. It's like a universal translator for AI systems.
That's a great way to put it. It's all about making sure those AI systems can understand each other's requests and respond accordingly.
So APIs are like the key to opening up communication between these AI systems. What else is in our interoperability toolkit?
Well, besides those APIs, there's another critical piece of the puzzle, which is something called middleware.
Middleware. Okay, that's a new one for me. What exactly is middleware?
Think of it as the diplomats of the AI world, helping to bridge the gaps and smooth over any differences between different systems.
Okay, so if APIs are the waiters taking our orders, middleware is like having a multilingual interpreter in the kitchen, making sure everyone understands each other.
Now you're really getting the hang of this. You see, sometimes those AI systems, they might speak slightly different dialects of the AI language, different data formats, different ways of organizing things.
So middleware comes in to translate and make sure everything runs smoothly.
Exactly. It helps iron out those inconsistencies and ensures that the communication between systems is crystal clear.
Wow, it sounds like we're building quite the sophisticated system here. It's almost like we're creating an entirely new ecosystem for AI to thrive in.
You're right, it is complex. And that's why collaboration is absolutely essential in making this work. You need developers and researchers sharing their knowledge, building upon each other's ideas.
So it's like a giant open source AI project where the best and brightest minds are all working together.
Exactly. Think of it like a global AI hackathon, but instead of lasting for a weekend, it's an ongoing effort to push the boundaries of what's possible with AI.
That's an exciting vision. But even with all this collaboration, how do we actually make sure that all these interconnected systems actually work as intended? It seems like there's so much room for error.
You make a valid point. You can't just build it and hope for the best. That's where the critical step of testing comes in.
Testing. Okay, what does that involve in the context of AI interoperability?
So you got to put those interoperable systems through the ringer. You need to run all sorts of tests, identify any issues, and iron out the kinks before you even think about using these systems in the real world.
So it's kind of like putting a new car through a series of crash tests to make sure it's safe before it hits the market.
That's a great analogy. We want to make sure those interoperable AI systems are robust, reliable, and ready for prime time.
That makes perfect sense. All right, so we've covered the key principles of AI interoperability, the strategies for making it happen, and even the importance of testing and validation. It's all starting to come together now. But I have to ask, are there any real-world examples of this stuff already happening? Or is this all still just a futuristic vision?
I don't know. This isn't just some pie-in-the-sky concept. Interoperable AI is already making waves across a ton of different industries. And, one that really jumps out is healthcare.
Oh, healthcare. Okay, tell me more about that. I'm super curious to hear how this is playing out in the real world.
Well, imagine this. All right. You go to the doctor, and they're looking at your medical scans.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
But they're not just looking at those scans in isolation,
What do you mean?
They're also cross-referencing them with your genetic data pulled from another system and even factoring in real-time data from, your fitness tracker.
Whoa, hold on. So all of that data is talking to each other?
Exactly. That's the beauty of interoperable AI in healthcare. It's like having a whole team of AI specialists working together to create this holistic picture of your health.
It's like having an AI-powered dream team for your health.
Exactly. And it's not just about, diagnosing what's wrong either. It's also about revolutionizing how we treat people.
How so?
Well, picture this. AI systems are working together to design personalized treatment plans, like optimizing drug dosages based on your specific genetic makeup.
Whoa, now that's what I call personalized medicine.
Right, and even predicting potential side effects before they even happen.
Wow, that's incredible. It's like having a medical plan tailor-made just for you.
And the benefits, they don't stop there. This kind of interoperable AI, it can also help researchers analyze huge amounts of data, right? Like massive amounts of medical data.
Oh, I see where you're going with this, like finding patterns and trends that humans might miss.
You got it. And that means faster drug development, new therapies, maybe even cures for diseases that we thought were incurable.
So it's not just about treating the sick, it's about preventing people from getting sick in the first place.
Precisely. It's about taking a proactive approach to healthcare, powered by interoperable AI. And, the amazing thing is, this isn't limited to healthcare.
Oh, really? Where else are we seeing interoperable AI making a difference?
Well, one area that I find super fascinating is smart cities.
Smart cities. Okay, tell me more.
So imagine a city where AI systems are managing everything. The traffic lights, the public transportation systems, emergency response, all in sync and optimized for efficiency.
That sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie.
It might sound futuristic, but it's closer than you think. We're already seeing cities all over the world start to implement these kinds of interoperable AI solutions.
Wow, so what would that actually look like in practice? Paint me a picture.
Okay, let's say there's a traffic accident, right? Now, with an interoperable AI system in place, it could immediately reroute traffic around the accident, dispatch emergency vehicles to the scene, and even alert nearby hospitals to prepare for potential incoming patients, all within seconds.
That's incredible. It's like the city itself is thinking and reacting in real time.
Exactly. And it's not just about responding to emergencies. Interoperable AI can also make our cities more sustainable and, just generally more pleasant to live in.
Really? How so?
Well, think about it. You could have AI systems optimizing energy consumption in buildings, managing waste disposal more efficiently, maybe even predicting and mitigating environmental hazards.
So it's like AI is becoming the ultimate city planner, constantly working to improve the lives of its citizens.
Yeah, it's like having a super intelligent brain managing the city's infrastructure and resources.
But hold on, all of that would require a massive amount of data sharing between different departments and agencies, right? Like, wouldn't that be a logistical nightmare?
You're not wrong. Those data silos, they're definitely a big obstacle when it comes to building truly smart cities. But guess what? That's precisely where interoperability steps in to save the day.
Ah, I see what you're saying. Interoperability is like the key to unlocking all that valuable data that's currently trapped in those silos.
You got it. By building these secure and standardized data exchange platforms, we can break down those walls and let information flow freely between different city systems.
So it's like we're creating a central nervous system for the city, allowing all its different parts to communicate and coordinate seamlessly.
Exactly. And that's what makes smart cities so exciting. They're not just about cool gadgets and technology. They're about using that technology to create a more efficient, sustainable, and livable future for everyone.
Okay, so healthcare, smart cities, that's two pretty impressive examples, but I have a feeling that's just the tip of the iceberg, right? I mean, there must be countless other areas where interoperable AI is making its mark.
You're absolutely right. I mean, the potential applications of interoperable AI, they're practically limitless, you know? It's already starting to revolutionize things like finance, manufacturing, even education.
Oh, wow, I hadn't even thought about those.
Right.
How is it changing things in those areas?
Well, for example, in finance, interoperable AI is being used to detect fraud in real time, like as transactions are happening.
So it's like having an AI security guard constantly watching over our financial systems?
Yeah, pretty much. And in manufacturing, interoperable AI is optimizing production processes, like predicting equipment failures before they happen so companies can avoid costly downtime. And then in education, it's being used to personalize learning experiences, tailoring educational content to each student's individual needs and learning style.
Wow, that's amazing. It's like AI is becoming this invisible force that's making everything run smoother and more efficiently. But, thinking about all these interconnected AI systems, it also makes me wonder about the potential downsides.
Yeah, I get it. It's like with all this power comes a lot of responsibility, right?
Exactly. Like, how do we ensure that all this interconnected AI is actually being used ethically and responsibly?
That's a crucial question and one that we can't afford to ignore. It's not enough to just build cool technology. We need to make sure that technology is aligned with our values and used for good.
Right, because if we're not careful, this whole interoperable AI thing could easily backfire, right?
You're absolutely right. And that's why, as we build these systems, we need to be thinking about things like data privacy, algorithmic bias, and the potential for these systems to be misused.
It's like we're building this incredibly powerful engine, but we also need to make sure we have the right steering wheel and brakes to control it.
Exactly. And that means developing robust ethical guidelines, putting regulations in place, and creating mechanisms for oversight and accountability.
So it's not just a technological challenge, it's a societal one as well.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so important to have these conversations, to raise awareness about the ethical implications of AI interoperability and to involve everyone in shaping this future that we're building. Because the future of AI, it's not something that just happens to us. It's something we create together.
Well said. Now, before we get too carried away with all these big picture ideas about the future, let's bring it back down to earth for a minute and talk about those AI agents we touched on earlier.
Ah, yes. AI agents, one of the most exciting and perhaps even slightly unnerving frontiers in AI development.
I know, right? They sound both incredibly useful and kind of spooky at the same time. But before we go any further, can you just remind me what exactly an AI agent is?
Sure. So in a nutshell, an AI agent is a piece of software, right, that can act on its own, making decisions and taking actions based on the information it has access to.
So it's like a little AI robot running around in the digital world doing our bidding.
That's a pretty good analogy. And when we talk about AI agent interoperability, what we're really talking about is these agents being able to talk to each other and work together, even if they were created by different developers or run on different platforms.
That's okay, now I see where this is going. So imagine a world where you have AI agents managing your calendar, booking your travel, ordering your groceries, all working together seamlessly behind the scenes to make your life easier.
Exactly. It's like having a personal team of AI assistants, each specializing in a specific area, but all working together to achieve your goals.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But how does interoperability actually work in the context of AI agents? What's the secret sauce that allows them to communicate and coordinate with each other?
Well, one of the key enablers, as we discussed earlier, is the proliferation of API systems, those digital waiters that allow different software applications to talk to each other.
Right, the APIs. So those are the common language that allows these AI agents to exchange information and requests.
Exactly. Using APIs, AI agents can share information about your preferences, request services from each other, and even trigger actions in other systems, all without you having to lift a finger.
That's pretty mind-blowing. But even with APIs, I imagine there must be some serious challenges in getting all these AI agents to play nice and work together smoothly, right?
Oh, absolutely. One of the biggest hurdles is making sure that these AI agents can actually understand each other's intentions and goals.
So it's not enough for them to just exchange data like robots. They need to be able to interpret that data and understand the context of the request.
Exactly. It's like the difference between translating a sentence word for word versus truly understanding the meaning behind those words.
Okay, I see what you mean. Like if I told my AI agent to book a flight to Paris, it needs to understand that I'm not just looking for any flight, but one that fits my budget, my schedule, and my preferred airline.
Precisely. And that requires a level of semantic understanding, like grasping the nuances of human language and behavior. That can be quite tricky for AI agents to achieve.
Right, because AI, it's not exactly known for its common sense. or its ability to read between the lines.
That's right. But you know what? There's actually another piece to this whole AI agent puzzle that we haven't even touched on yet, and that's the issue of security and trust.
Oh, right, because if we're going to have these AI agents managing our lives, we need to be able to trust them completely, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're handling our personal information, our finances, our health data. It's a lot of responsibility.
Absolutely. And that trust, it has to be built on a solid foundation of rock-solid security and ironclad privacy protocols.
So it's not enough for these AI agents to be smart and efficient. They also need to be ethical and trustworthy. We're essentially talking about creating a whole new set of rules for how these AI agents operate in the world.
You got it. It's like we're writing the rule book for a whole new society of AI agents where they can collaborate and help us, but always with our best interests in mind.
So how do we actually go about building that trust? Do we program these AI agents with a set of moral guidelines? Like, is that even possible?
That's a great question, and one that's keeping a lot of very smart people up at night. Some are exploring the idea of embedding ethical guidelines directly into these AI agents, like a moral compass that guides their decision-making.
So it's like teaching our AI agents the difference between right and wrong, almost like raising AI children.
In a way, yeah. We need to make sure they understand things like fairness, transparency, accountability. And what's even more important is making sure those ethical guidelines keep evolving as AI gets smarter.
That's a crucial point because AI is constantly evolving, and we need to make sure our ethical frameworks can keep up. But even with those guidelines in place, don't we still need to be able to monitor these AI agents and make sure they're actually behaving themselves?
Absolutely. Transparency and accountability are critical for building trust, especially when it comes to AI. We need to know how those AI agents are making decisions, and we need to be able to hold them responsible if they step out of line.
So it's almost like we need to create a system of checks and balances for these AI agents, just like we have for governments and corporations.
You got it. We need to strike that balance between giving them the freedom to operate and learn while also making sure they stay within the boundaries that we set for them. It's a delicate dance, but it's one we need to get right if we want this whole AI agent thing to work.
This is all incredibly fascinating, but I have to admit, it's also a little bit overwhelming. Are we really ready for a world where AI agents are running around managing so many aspects of our lives?
It's definitely a mind-bending concept, isn't it? But, it's important to remember that we're still in the very early stages of AI development. Those super intelligent AI agents that we see in sci-fi movies, they're still a long way off.
So my fridge isn't going to start ordering groceries without my permission anytime soon.
Probably not. But it's a good example of the kind of scenarios we need to be thinking about. It's all about being proactive, anticipating potential challenges, and making sure that as we develop these increasingly powerful AI systems, we're doing it responsibly and ethically.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of all this new technology, but we can't forget about the potential risks.
Exactly. We have a responsibility to make sure that AI serves humanity, not the other way around.
Well said. Now, before we wrap up this segment, let's get down to brass tacks. Where are we actually seeing real-world implementations of AI agent interoperability today? Like, what are some concrete examples?
Okay, well, one area where we're seeing a lot of progress is in customer service. Those AI-powered chatbots that you see popping up on websites everywhere these days?
Oh, yeah. I've definitely encountered my fair share of chatbots, some more helpful than others, I have to say. But how does interoperability come into play here? How does it make those chatbots better?
All right, so imagine you're on a company's website and you're chatting with a chatbot, trying to get help with an issue, right? But then you realize you need to talk to a real human to resolve the problem. Now, in an interoperable system, that chatbot would be able to seamlessly transfer all of your chat history, all the context of your conversation, to the human agent, so you wouldn't have to repeat yourself or start from scratch.
Oh, wow, that would be such a relief. No more explaining the same issue 5 times to 5 different people. That's a huge improvement.
Exactly. It's all about creating a smoother, more efficient, and less frustrating customer experience. And we're seeing similar applications of AI agent interoperability popping up in healthcare and finance as well.
Okay, I'm really curious to hear more about those examples. What kind of cool things are happening with AI agents in healthcare?
Well, one promising application is using AI agents to help people manage chronic conditions. So imagine an AI agent that's constantly monitoring your blood sugar levels, reminding you to take your medication, and even providing personalized health advice based on your specific needs.
That sounds incredibly helpful. It's like having a personal health coach right in your pocket. But wouldn't there be privacy concerns about an AI agent having access to such sensitive medical data?
That's a really important point, and it highlights why privacy and security need to be top priorities when we're designing these AI agents. Patients need to have complete control over their data and be absolutely confident that it's being handled responsibly.
So ideally, this AI agent would be working for you, with your consent and under your direction, acting as a trusted partner in managing your health.
Exactly. It's all about empowering patients to take control of their own health journey, but with the support of these intelligent and trustworthy AI agents.
Okay, healthcare is a pretty compelling example.
Ah.
What about finance? How are AI agents shaking things up in that sector?
Well, one really interesting application is using AI agents to help people manage their personal finances. Imagine an AI agent that tracks your spending habits, analyzes your investments, and even offers personalized financial advice, all tailored to your specific goals and risk tolerance.
That sounds like it could be a game changer, especially for someone like me who's not exactly a financial whiz.
Ah.
But, handing over control of my finances to an AI agent, that seems a little risky, doesn't it?
I totally get your concern, and it really emphasizes the importance of transparency and oversight when it comes to these financial AI agents.
Right, because we need to be able to understand how these AI agents are making decisions with our money,
Yeah.
and we need to hold them accountable if something goes wrong.
Exactly. It's not enough for these AI agents to just be smart and efficient. They also need to be trustworthy and operate within a framework that prioritizes our financial well-being and security.
Okay, so trust is paramount when we're talking about AI agents managing our finances. But it seems like building that trust is going to be a major challenge, right?
You're absolutely right. And that brings us to one of the biggest hurdles we face in creating this future, where AI agents are seamlessly integrated into our lives. The challenge of complexity.
Complexity. Okay, can you elaborate on that? What makes building these AI agent systems so complex?
Well, for starters, you've got the technical challenge of just getting these different AI agents to communicate effectively. They need to speak a common language, understand each other's requests and responses, and be able to gracefully handle any unexpected situations that might pop up. It's kind of like trying to coordinate a team of robots, each with its own programming language and operating system.
That sounds incredibly challenging, like a logistical nightmare waiting to happen.
It can be. But, beyond the technical hurdles, there are also the ethical and societal implications to consider. Like, how do we ensure that these AI agents are truly acting in our best interests? How do we prevent them from being misused for malicious purposes? How do we design them in a way that respects human values and autonomy? These are all big questions that we need to be wrestling with.
It sounds like creating an ethical and trustworthy AI ecosystem is as much a social and philosophical challenge as it is a technological one.
Exactly. It's going to take a village to get this right, We need technologists, ethicists, policymakers, and everyday citizens all working together to figure this out. We need to be having open and honest conversations about the potential risks and benefits of AI and collaborating to shape a future where AI is used for good.
Well said.
Yeah.
I think those are some excellent points to ponder as we move into the final part of our deep dive.
Indeed. We've covered a lot of ground, exploring the potential and the challenges of AI interoperability, but there's still much to discuss, especially as we venture further into this uncharted territory of intelligent, interconnected systems that are rapidly changing the world around us.
Welcome back, everyone. We've been on quite a journey exploring the world of AI interoperability.
It's been a fascinating discussion, We've covered a lot of ground, from those foundational principles to the real-world applications and even those intriguing AI agents.
Yeah, those AI agents really got me thinking about what the future holds. It's like we're on the verge of something truly transformative.
It really feels that way, doesn't it? Like we're standing at the edge of a new era where AI is becoming this invisible force that's shaping every aspect of our lives.
But as we've discussed, it's not just about the technology itself, right? It's about making sure that we're using this incredible power responsibly and ethically.
You're absolutely right. As we move towards this future of interconnected AI systems and intelligent agents, we have a responsibility to consider the impact on society, the economy, even our own sense of what it means to be human.
It's like we're holding this this incredibly powerful tool in our hands, and we need to make sure we use it wisely.
That's a great analogy, and that's why these conversations are so crucial. We need to be having open and honest dialogues about the future of AI, engaging with diverse perspectives, really grappling with the ethical implications.
Because the decisions we make today about AI, they're going to have a ripple effect for generations to come.
Exactly. So where do we go from here? What steps can we take to ensure that this powerful technology is developed and deployed responsibly?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? What are your thoughts?
Well, one crucial step is fostering a culture of collaboration and open communication. We need researchers, developers, policymakers, even everyday citizens all working together.
So it's not just about the tech geniuses in Silicon Valley. It's about all of us coming together to shape this future.
Exactly. We need everyone at the table sharing their ideas, concerns, and hopes for the future of AI, because this isn't something that's happening in isolation. It's something that's going to impact all of us.
And we all have a stake in making sure that it's a positive impact, right?
Absolutely. We need to be proactive, anticipating potential challenges, and working together to find solutions.
So it's not just about building the technology. It's about building the right kind of future alongside it.
That's a great way to put it. We need to be thinking about the kind of world we want to live in, and then use AI as a tool to help us get there.
Now, that's a vision I can get behind. A future where AI empowers us to create a better world for everyone.
Exactly. And I think one of the most exciting things about AI interoperability is its potential to help us tackle some of the world's most pressing problems. I mean, the possibilities are truly mind-boggling.
Okay, now you've got me hooked. Give me an example. What kind of global challenges could we address with interoperable AI?
Well, think about climate change, for instance. We could have AI systems monitoring deforestation in the Amazon, optimizing energy grids in Europe, even developing new sustainable technologies in labs around the world, all working together in this incredible coordinated effort to protect our planet.
Wow, that's an amazing vision. It really makes you realize that AI interoperability isn't just about making our lives a little bit easier. It's about using this technology to make a real difference in the world.
Precisely. It's about harnessing the power of AI to address the challenges that have plagued humanity for centuries.
So it's not just about convenience. It's about creating a better future for everyone.
Exactly. It's about using technology to uplift humanity, to solve problems that seemed insurmountable just a few years ago.
It's almost like we're on the cusp of a new era of human progress, powered by this collective intelligence of interconnected AI systems.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And it's a future that I'm incredibly excited to be a part of shaping. It's a future where we can leverage the power of AI to create a world that's more sustainable, more equitable, and more prosperous for all.
Well, on that inspiring note, I think it's time to wrap up our deep dives into the world of AI interoperability. It's been a fascinating journey exploring the potential and the challenges of this rapidly evolving field.
It's been a pleasure joining you on this exploration. It's clear that AI interoperability is going to play a pivotal role in shaping the future, and I can't wait to see what incredible innovations and solutions emerge in the years to come.
And to all our listeners out there, we encourage you to stay curious, keep asking those tough questions, and be active participants in shaping this exciting future. Remember, the future isn't something that just happens to us. It's something we create together.